was the first one.
I thought we've had this longer.
No.
Okay.
Before that, it was Johnny.
He was the first year.
Next is the good of the cause for the public, where individuals are invited to express themselves on matters of concern to the residents of East Brunswick. To allow for fair and orderly comment period, individuals' comments are limited to 5 minutes. Members of the public are reminded this is a public televised meeting of the board, and to protect the privacy of all students and staff, concerns regarding individual students and staff should be addressed first by meeting with the appropriate administrative staff. Anybody wish to address the board? We've lost half of you. All right, well, seeing that, let's go through the agenda. Start first with a motion for our resolution for American Education Week, as Dr. Valesky already pointed out, is the week we come back from the break. Whereas public schools are the backbone of our democracy, providing young people with the tools they need to maintain our nation's precious values of freedom, civility, and equality. Whereas by equipping young Americans with both practical skills and broader intellectual abilities, schools give them hope for and access to a productive future. And whereas public education employees, be they administrators, teachers, health and student service workers, librarians, custodians, bus drivers, clerical workers, food service professionals, skilled trade workers, security guards, technical employees, or substitutes, work tirelessly to serve our children and communities with care and professionalism. Whereas public schools encourage community by bringing together adults and children, educators and volunteers, business leaders, and elected officials for a common purpose. Now therefore be it resolved that the East Brunswick Board of Education proclaims November 14th through 18th, 2016 as American Education Week.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Becker, second
Second.
by Dr. Cohen. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Becker?
The phrase "it takes a village" has become so overused and over the years, but the concept is a great one, because that's what we truly have tried to do in East Brunswick. We like to call it building a community and partnerships where the stakeholders are parents, students, teachers, support staff, administrators, and we all have a stake in the community that we call the East Brunswick Public Schools. And I'm really proud of the fact that all of our stakeholders do so well, particularly those who are employees of the district in any capacity. Your loyalty, commitment, dedication is demonstrated every single day, and success, one of the ways, can be reflected in that stream of children walking across the stage at graduation, getting the diplomas with that look of incredible hope and confidence in their face. And we just are blessed and lucky to have the people working for us that we do, and to have a community that we can engage as partners and shareholders. So this is something we should celebrate every week. Every week is East Brunswick Education Week.
So true.
Okay. Any other discussion? Sure, you can say something.
I just wanted to simply say I'm really proud to lead this district, and I always consider myself just a facilitator. I'm the guy that gets the resources together, along with a lot of other people, but the people in the classroom make it happen all the time. And they're the ones that the students remember and love every day. So I appreciate everything you do, and I want to thank you for that.
Anyone else? I'm not sure I would want to do this in another district.
I don't want to.
No, I just, good, it's good to hear.
Just laying it out there.
No, but I mean, you think about it, though.
In case you were interpreting that.
I wasn't, but I have the gavel.
I know.
This is
No,
on tape.
but think about this, because tonight we had what we really want to hear are the presentations on things like Naviance and students coming and presenting. That's really all I care to hear. The rest of the stuff is really boring business stuff, but we have started to do that more and more now.
Right.
Which gives us at least a little window into what is going on in our schools. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not sure that I would personally want to do this anywhere else. So glad to work with all of you and glad to work with everybody, at least who's here. On that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The rest of our G agenda, may I have a motion for our other G Board of Education items?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Becker, second by Mrs. Shaw. Is there any discussion? All right, will the secretary please call the roll?
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mrs. Chu?
Yes, except abstain on G2.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mrs. Lax?
Yes, with an abstention on G5.
Mr. Philipchak?
Yes.
Mrs. Reese?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes, with an abstention for G6.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes, abstain G2, 8, and 10. Okay, motion carries. May I have a motion for our curriculum and instruction agenda?
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mrs. Becker, second by Mrs. Shaw. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion for our financial services agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Philipczak, second by Mrs. Becker. Is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Mrs. Shaw.
I have a question on I-2, which is regarding our New Jersey Achievement Coaches Training Team Program Budget Amendment. Just not really sure what's happening here in this particular item. It says that we're transferring $5,000 within the grant budget.
Do you need to school it? Would you mind?
Sorry. This is part of the Achievement Coach Grant, and at the time that we were awarded the Achievement Coach Grant, the state asked us to put $5,000 aside for expenses occurred at the Summer Institute that the state would be charging us for, and they told us we could move anything to whatever we needed after the summer, so we are.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before you sit down, perhaps you would also like to tell me a little bit about the Arts Integration Pilot Program, because the integration of the arts into all curriculum areas was really being thrown at us from all directions at our school boards convention last week. And so I find this particularly interesting and very cool.
Yeah, and Dr. Valesky and I attended a session today as well, where it was also being a big push for arts education now is the movement. Our students are involved in it, and now it seems to be there's some possible funding behind it, and certainly the reauthorization of ESSA, NCLB as ESSA, includes the arts as one of the most important subjects, along with math and language arts and all the other things that we do. So we applied for this grant there's leftover Title I money at the state level, so we applied for a $100,000 grant to run a summer school program for middle school students where the focus is arts, STEM kind of integration, and that will infuse the math and language arts into the theme or the creativity. So we learned today, we didn't know this at the time, but we learned today that 46 districts applied and 10 will be awarded the first week of December.
And it's
We'll keep
also
you
pretty
apprised.
cool that East Brunswick has always recognized the arts as being a really critical, crucial part of
We had
education.
state people referring to
Right,
us today.
right. And we made contact and FaceTime with all the appropriate people today, so
All right.
now it's up in the hands of the people making the decision to.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Big grant. Okay, anything else?
I have a question, this may be a typo, but it goes, I-1 through 5, and then I-17. Is something missing? I know we had, or is it just a typo?
It's a typo.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just missing 12 items, that's all.
I didn't think so, but I know we had missing.
No, that's good. So what should that mean, Mr. Julian? I6? I6. Okay, with the correction that it's I1 through I6. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mrs. Becker?
Yes.
Mrs. Chu?
Yes.
Dr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mrs. Lax?
Yes.
Mr. Philipchak?
Yes.
Mrs. Reese?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Simmons?
Yes, motion carries. May I have a motion?